Good morning, another beautiful spring morning. Smells so good out here. It literally smells like spring. It's getting me excited to go get in the fields. This morning I got started without me again. I just can't seem to get out of bed early enough, but once the time gets here, we'll get that figured out. Brandon started with getting the air seeder unhooked from the other tractor because we need that tractor for our tillage. And now he's down here getting that fueled up. I got a feeling it's gonna get really windy today. Right now it's calm and just gorgeous out here. The sun's in my eyes. Oh, I love it. Looks like Joey has plans with the skid steer. Okay, so he got in the skid steer and pointed that direction, which normally I should know what that means. I am his son for 25 years, and sign language like that normally I could pick up on. But I just couldn't get it. He just pointed to the north, and that just didn't make sense to me, but I got it now. He wants help hooking up the gooseneck so we can get the Bobcat on there. So we can haul the Bobcat to the field so we can pick rock with it. I just didn't know that that was the plan, that's what we were doing today. So if I would have known the plan, that point, I would have known what he meant. Yep, I see now. It looks like he was back here struggling. I'm kind of confused why he abandoned this project though. It looks like the ball's high enough. I thought he was grabbing the skid steer because he didn't want to jack it up to lift it up and then set it on, you know? I think he was just waiting for his young, good-looking son to do this for him. So now he's giving me another finger, but I knew what that one meant. He was pointing that direction, which means, does he need to push the ball over with the skid steer until it falls on? I told him no, because I'm so muscular I can just push it over by hand. Hey, we're hooked up. Let's see if she pulls forward now. I think it will. We're not mudded in at all. It's getting pretty dry back here, actually. So right now what we're trying to do is get these hoses not to lay in there and pinch like they always do. That ain't gonna work. I want to go down there because that's gonna move. Well, I think we've come to the conclusion that we're just gonna stick with the way we've always done it. Run the hose in the middle and hope it doesn't fall into the cylinder here and get pinched and blow. Now that Joey distracted me 4 times from greasing, I'm gonna actually get this thing greased. Never a good sign when a grease gun does that. That means the grease zerk's not taking grease. So our switcher into first gear. And it's still not taking grease. Joey! Dad, I need your help! Daddy? I don't know where he went. He ran away. Oh, he's playing in the payloader. I found him. Oh, I suppose we'll take a break on my grease job and go help Brandon out here a minute. But the 9RX, possible, but almost impossible to hook an implement up by yourself because you cannot see the hitch in the cap, which sucks. We gotta hook hydraulics up. That someone laid in the dirt.
And that ain't gonna lift the cultivator up.
Yeah, well. Yeah, well. My name is someone. I laid those in the dirt. Does anyone else just use their sweatshirt and their clothes to clean off the hydraulic tips and then wonder why your clothes are always so dirty? Okay, move a hydraulic. Now you gotta move it the other direction. Okay, pull ahead a little bit. You're stuck in the lip. Okay, stop. Oh, you timed that perfectly. Now that we got the cultivator hooked up, I can have some help with my little greaser. This is not going very well. Now put some like pressure on it. There we go. There we go. He just had to put a little downward pressure. Now she's pumping. Time to get this thing loaded. This is going to be the first day in the field, you guys. I'm excited. First day in the field, 2025. We're not planting, but it's still field work and it's still fun and exciting. We've been cooped up all winter and we want to go run some big fancy equipment. With the skid steer here, I went and grabbed these ripper teeth that go on our large excavators, and I'm going to place them onto the payloader bucket. There we go. Now, I think it is officially time to load this thing. Got the Bobcat loaded. Now to load the little bit more challenging thing, the excavator onto the low boy here. Those look like they're gonna need a little WD-40. Kind of a slow, very tedious process getting this thing loaded, because as you can see, right there and right there, there's not a whole lot of margin for error getting this thing on and off of here. It's a little too big for the trailer, but they don't really make a bigger trailer. We could get a smaller excavator. Okay, instead of just making Joey tie this thing down, I should probably give him a hand. Well, we have 4 points of contact. He's tied down good and tight, and just for good measure, that ain't going anywhere. Those of you that know, if you don't do that, it could fall off. I tell you what, guys, my dad, Joey, he is one smart cookie. He's really thinking ahead. So we're hauling the skid steer down, as you saw me load it. Where we are hauling it to is where our garden is, and we are also gonna need our little tractor here for when we replant our garden this spring, very soon. So since we're hauling that down, have the gooseneck hooked up, put this on the trailer and haul this down. Dad's always thinking ahead. That's not good. I'm not going up yet, and I'm hitting. My little potato digger back there is not allowing me to go on. I'm gonna need like some blocks or something. We can drive it on and then not rub instead of backing it on. Oh, I think it's working. We scratched the ground a little bit, but I'm okay with that. Look at Joey go. Well, we have the heavy 18-foot Wishick disc hooked up to a tractor that's a lot more compatible for it. Not overkill. I mean, overkill is better than underkill, I guess, right? But she's a little low in oil. Gotta pump her up. When do we not have tire issues? Like every day, there's a video of me fixing a tire on the disc here. Camera aired up that tire and I can hear it hissing. It's got cords showing it's shot. But we're airing it up. I'm gonna send it for the day. Got a new tire coming. I'm gonna bring impact with so I can take it off in the field tonight and then probably get it fixed tomorrow, I guess. I finally left the yard and everyone else left way before me because I was still fueling this thing and getting it ready. And it's been a full year since I've driven a tractor and I can't remember how to drive it anymore, I guess, because the F1 is set for 16 miles an hour, therefore that is my max speed, and somehow in the computer here I have to tell it to go faster. I don't remember how to do that. Start clicking buttons. I'm finding it. There we go. Now we can go 26. These John Deere 8 series tractors, so that'd be like an 8R, which is what I'm driving, the 8R 310, are so fun to drive in my opinion. So simple to drive. If you have an IVT and newer, I think there are options you can get. All you have to do to drive this thing, it's simple, guys. Those of you that have never driven a tractor, I know there's a few of you watching, all I have to do to slow down, here's my turn, is I pull back on this joystick. I'm pulling back on it and we're slowing down. Still just pulling back. Now we're down to a nice turning speed. Now we're back onto our straightaway. I would do this a little smoother if I wasn't holding the camera. You just push this forward again. Now we're picking up speed. That's all there is to it. You push it forward, you gotta pull it back. Oh, it's just comfortable. That handle, it's a comfortable handle. Now I think it's called the Command Pro joystick. I do believe they have this in some of the newer models. I think they were talking about putting in the 9 series. I don't know if it's in there yet or not. I don't know. Random fun fact about me. I love this tractor and it's super easy to drive. We have arrived at our field. Looks like we arrived at a Quonset, but we arrived at our field. Oh, it looks like I showed up just in time because they got the excavator off the trailer and I didn't have to help untie it. Brandon, I do believe, is going to run home and get the second excavator so we can hopefully get this job done down here relatively quickly. But it looks like he's hooking up our fabric layer on the little garden tractor down here. Mom wants to call this tractor Big Blue. I'm going to call it the little garden tractor. We got our first trip of equipment down here. I think most everyone's going to head back. Like Brandon's gonna go get another excavator. The rest of the guys are gonna head back and get more stuff. I'm gonna get my excavator and start working because this is kind of the first process. I gotta get rocks out. I gotta get trees cleaned up, roots cleaned up before payloaders can start working and following me. So I gotta get a little bit ahead. So I'm gonna get to work in this thing. I gotta get my ripper hooked up here. There you go. Now time to disconnect my bucket. Started cleaning up this land, and right here used to run an old wooden corral fence line, and it's kind of a mess. So I'm just taking the rake, going along and digging out, or just ripping the ground a little bit, digging out whatever crap is left here and making it look nice and clean so we can till over it and make it farmable. And I'm finding all kinds of stuff in here. Old boards with nails in it, which is not very cool because that's how you cause more flat tires that I seem to fix every single day. Also found a sickle bar. That's cool. I don't know what that's out of. Probably an old swather or maybe old combine. I don't know. And some rock and random arrays of concrete. But just keep working along here and getting this cleaned up. Okay, I called Dad and asked him what the heck the deal with this pipe out here is. Whether or not he wants me to leave it or rip it out. And he said rip it out and we'll see if water comes out of it and if we have a bigger problem to fix. So we're gonna give her a big smoke and see what happens. Oh, looks like we're in business. I got it ripped out and there's no water spraying everywhere and the well is on. So that, I think, was an old watering hose for a water tank that used to sit here and it's no longer connected, I think. I want to farm over it now. Well, this is not really cool. So there used to be an old farmstead here and apparently all these old farmstead old timers, whatever, love to just lay scrap around in random places. There used to be a bin right here and I did a little digging around and I'm finding all kinds of scrap laying around, so that's not cool. Like that is a flat tire waiting to happen for sure. And I wonder why we have flat tires all the time. So right through here, where I have all this dirt dug up, or sod dug up, used to run a fence line next to this old farmstead like I was showing you guys, and I was finding a bunch of scrap metal. Well, for whatever reason, probably 60 years ago, they decided that this fence line would be a good idea to lay all their scrap. And now over the time, the grass and sod kept building up and kind of covered it all up. So when I was digging along here, I found all this scrap, and it just kept going and going and going. And I'm not really into metal detecting, so instead of metal detecting and digging through all this and trying to find every piece of metal, pick it up, put it on a pile so I don't get a flat tire, I decided to take the excavator and just kind of scratch the surface and make piles. Then the payloaders are then going to have to take those piles, scoop them, and dump them into a hole, because I'm not sifting through all that dirt to make sure I have every piece of metal. So that's great. I'm assuming the metal continues and goes this way. I'm gonna have to clean the fence line here too. They have arrived with the second excavator. Well, we're now finding, now that we drove these excavators a little while, that when I tightened the track a couple videos ago, I definitely over tensioned them. So now we're dropping a little grease out of the track and untensioning them. Okay, I think mine has the same issue up there. It didn't seem right. This is why I don't believe in maintenance, Cameron. If I wanted to tighten them, they wouldn't be over tight.
That's correct.
Is that the sound the excavator makes when it's driving?
Yeah.
That one's the same size.
So once you remove the big excavator from the lowboy, apparently the airbags inflate up a lot and you get a lot of ground clearance there. Up under there too, that's a lot more than normal ground clearance when you have the excavator on it. We're working on clearing up this little section of ground. I probably should back up so that way JT doesn't have to worry about backing into me. And at the moment, I don't really have very much to do. Waiting for that excavator to dig a hole for me to put stuff into. And then the other excavator that you can see back there, that one's working on raking up a whole bunch of scrap iron, because this used to be a old farmyard. You know the farmers, we always like to throw our junk in a certain area, so there's a lot of old scrap iron hiding in the dirt back there. He's going along raking it, trying to get it all put onto piles, and then I'm gonna haul it into that hole once he has it done, so that way hopefully, fingers crossed, you don't get any flat tires farming through that area. In the meantime, we're kind of going around picking up the rocks that are just on the surface through here. Mostly just following JT around. You know, that is a big rock, but the skid steer is moving it. You got this, George. Well, after I found a rock pile to dump on, I'm coming back to get more from JT. He didn't make it very far with this large rock. Don't worry, I got you. Yeah. That was aggressive. I think I got a full bucket now. I'll have to go dump again.
Got Brandon over here working on digging a hole so we can shove all the rock we pick in there and bury them. And this very large tree pile, once we are not in a burn ban and can burn it and throw the stumps of whatever is left into this hole as well. These large machines make quick work of digging a big hole. The soil is very, very sandy with a few clay chunks in it. I think this is clay. Maybe it's just slightly frozen, a different type of sand. So this is, I believe, virgin soil. And all of our virgin soil back home near the farm, our home base, like I call this a field, not a farm, is loaded with rock. Thankfully, this stuff's not like cobblestone. You just find a rock every here and there, like this little guy, and you dig it out and keep moving. So breaking up this pasture, I think will go a lot quicker than the stuff we're working on last year. Those of you that saw those videos saw how many rock we really have back there, and it is absolutely disgusting, honestly. The other thing that sucks about this ground is it's sandy, and sand doesn't like to hold moisture. You gotta look at the positive in everything. There's no rock, very minimal. Now I found a few rock on the edge of this slough and stuff here. I'm kind of getting drug out. There may be some years that this slough is dry and we can farm it, but I haven't found a big rock down here. Now that is one large potato. Well, for some reason, the corner of this field here, a lot of rock in it, but I think I got them all dug out. But now, these 4 trees on the edge of this field kind of serve not much of a purpose. They're dying and falling apart into the field. So, I think this large excavator should do easy work of pushing these over. We'll see once though. Timber! Like I said, they were dying. Yeah, half the center of that tree was all rotted out. So this tree is a little bit scarier because it's a lot bigger and has a heck of a lot more going on. I don't want it to start falling and have pieces fall back on top of me, so I gotta be very careful here. You know, I really don't know if a guy can have much more fun than this. Like, I basically get to play with giant toys in a big old sandbox, knock stuff over, demolish it. Like, it's just, I'm having a blast. It's so fun. Like, look at the size of that root. And this big beast pushed it over like it was nothing. Now I just got to get it all cleaned up here and put on a pile. So I'm starting to think part of my problem with this stump here, why I can't get it out, I think it's partly froze in. Well, I'm not too sure what happened to that stump, but it kind of just turned into a pile of mulch. I didn't even dig it out. It's just in a bunch of pieces right there. So that was weird. I dug it out, but it's just in a bunch of pieces. Oh well, it works for me. Well, I think I'm about done with the excavator. We don't know if we're gonna do more work with that or not. So I'm gonna jump in the payloader here since Cameron went home and finish the day out in this thing. Well, the last hole Brandon was digging, I said it was sandy soil. Yeah, over here on the other side of the field, it's gravelly soil. There's a giant old gravel pit here. I think this was from when they built the roads way back in the day. They have made this gravel pit because they obviously need gravel for the road, and it never got, what do you call it, reclaimed back to normal status. So unfortunately for us, we got to deal with this big hole that we cannot farm over currently. But also fortunately for us, that gives us a place to dump rock like we're doing here. And I got this big rock that I originally dug out with the excavator a little while ago, that you saw, on the bucket of my payloader, dump it in this hole. Joey's over here dumping some more rock in with his payloader too. So you guys gotta look at the bright side of stuff, right? This giant hole kind of sucks, but the bright side, we got a place to dump our rock. Joey's got one heck of a full scoop there. So as you can about imagine, our process here is the excavators go out and dig the rock out of the ground that we see. And then the payloaders and the Bobcat here come along and pick up whatever is dug out. The Bobcat mostly picks it. The payloaders haul it to the final destination, because the skid steer or Bobcat, whatever you want to call it, has such a small bucket on it, it would take forever for that thing to haul it over and over and over again, versus these have several yard buckets. JT and I are just out here in our natural habitat picking more rock. You know, one day when I'm old, I hope I just have them all picked and I never have to pick a rock again. Like, that's gonna be one of my life goals, to pick all the rock ever on our farm. I'm very grateful for the equipment we have and get to use for picking rock, because it makes life a lot easier. Because picking these by hand would be not very fun. Plus, a lot of these are like 500 plus pounds. And I know I look very strong, but I cannot lift a 500-pound rock. If you guys couldn't tell, it is a new day. I don't think I recorded enough yesterday for a full video. And these trees I pushed down would be great if I had a grapple bucket to grab them and then haul them to a hole so we can put them on a pile, burn them, and then, you know, get rid of them. We have a grapple bucket for the other payloader. And remember how earlier in the video I said Joey's really thinking ahead of bringing this down? Now we didn't think ahead of putting the grapple bucket on the other payloader for this. And the grapple bucket is back at the farm, which is almost 20 miles away. Since I only have like 4 or 5 trees to gather, I'm gonna work with what I got, I guess. So we ran a chain around the hook in the bucket. Now we're gonna run it around this tree, and this is gonna be my grapple. There, I think, and I hope that'll work. Well, it's just kind of dumb on my part. I didn't really think this through. In order to lift the tree, you kind of got to be balanced when you have that long of a thing. And the root weighs a lot more than the top half of the tree. So I'm not balanced. I got to get moved over. That didn't work. Attempt number 2. We're recentered now. So a few videos ago, I had some people ask why we have such a large payloader. What do we need such a large payloader for? I don't believe this tire is low and that's squatting a lot. I guess trees are really heavy, guys. That looks pretty freaking cool if you ask me though. The little bit of moving that I did, the payloader definitely knows it's on there. It's a load. To the hole we go. It is definitely heavy. Now I just hope we can get that chain loose. Oh heck yeah. You know, that took a little extra time and effort getting in and out of the cab, chaining and unchaining it, but it worked and it was oddly satisfying. We got the tree in the hole. By the way, guys, that was Joey's idea. He's sometimes one smart cookie. I wanted to go home and get the grapple fork. He's like, just grab a chain. It's only a few trees and see if you can get them in there. I'm like, okay, Joey. Okay, I might be getting a little greedy here, but I grabbed all 3 of the rest of the trees and pushed them up into a pile. I'm gonna see if I can't get these all 3 chained on and hauled in one load. Well, from thinking a lot of really skinny thoughts, I got the chain around them all. Now the next question is, can the payloader lift 3 trees when they're struggling to lift the 1? Granted, these 3 are all half the size of that one, but I do think it's gonna be more. I don't know, trees are so dense and heavy. I suppose it makes sense. There's a lot of moisture in them. Okay, let's see if this big girl will lift it. Man, we are really testing the limits of this big payloader, that's for sure. 3 trees maybe is a bit too much, but it makes for good YouTube content, and I'm honestly kind of having fun. But we definitely got some squat up here on the front. What do you call that? There's the Carolina squat. Could that be like the North Dakota squat? I think that looks kind of neat though. We're gonna go to the hole in reverse with this scoop. Nice and slow. I'm doing a lot of extra work for you guys. Here's my mounting stick for all the different angles I got. Just a stick in a old gopher hole. It works. Now this one has me nervous if I'm gonna get the chain off, because I was using literally the last link. It was barely long enough. Yeah, it still looks awfully tight. Are you guys having fun? Because I am. I gotta get the chain out of the trees now. Okay, chain is unhooked and I hooked it back up to the bucket so that it just hopefully pulls away from the trees. There we go. Trees are in the hole. I didn't break anything, and I got my chain back. It's a good day. So back in the day, they did it right. When building this large gravel pit, they removed all the topsoil and put it to the side where Brandon's working here. I'm assuming they had the intentions of repurposing the land and smoothing it all out and putting the topsoil back on and leaving it the way they found it. They just didn't get to the part of repurposing it. Now we're kind of stuck doing that. So Brandon's over here with the excavator working on grabbing this, pulling it over. We'll probably end up taking the payloaders and pushing it in the rest of the way. I don't know that we'll actually fill the whole hole in. It'd be nice to have a D8 cat dozer to do that. This equipment would work, it's just not the right equipment for it. But he's at least grabbing the edges because we can get a little closer to it then and farm a little closer to it. Now I said I didn't break anything. I don't think I broke it, but I noticed it's broken. The steering wheel in here, bring it down with this little foot switch down here. Then you let it go, it just goes back up. Not the worst breakdown in the world, but kind of annoying having my steering wheel way up here and have to reach for it. The issues of farming, right? What we have to deal with out here, it's horrible. Well, I'm out here with the disc now, breaking what I thought was native soil, but I guess not. It looks like there's an old plow ridge right there you can see that goes all the way down the field. So that's kind of neat. 8R310 and the Wishik disc trying to just bust up sod. Slow, lengthy process has definitely begun. Well, tillage has officially begun. We are scratching dirt, guys. The reason we're out here with the Wishik disc, that's what that disc is that is a very heavy disc. We're out here with that first because a heavy disc will rip through this sod. The sod makes the ground extremely hard and hard to penetrate with any kind of tillage, which that Wishik disc is very heavy and just kind of goes into the ground. You can see that's even struggling. This doesn't look that all well tilled up. We're probably gonna have to hit it twice with that, and then we'll hit it a bunch of other times with the quick till, the cultivator, the harrow, the quick till again, the cultivator again, the harrow again, the quick till again. Like, it's gonna definitely need several passes. Still very cold. And actually, I'm pretty sure in certain places there's still frost in the ground. Like here, where it's more bare, the frost is lifted, it's no longer there. But then you get thicker areas where the grass is super thick. It's acting like an insulator and still keeping the ground frozen, I believe. Because you can see in areas that disc is not wanting to go down into the ground. I think what we'll end up doing, right now he's going east and west while disking this. Get this first pass done. We'll disc it at like a bit of an angle or maybe the opposite direction to really chop up these chunks. Tillage is honestly kind of if you ask me, it's kind of fun because even though we don't do very much tillage in our farm because we are no-till, it's kind of fun because it's mind-numbing in a way. You get to drive tractor, you don't have much you can mess up. It's just tillage. You lift the implement up, you lift it down, and it's not stressful. It's not like seeding where you actually have to really pay attention to make sure you're doing a good job, that the seed depth is perfect, that the drill is actually seeding, that it's coming out and you don't got plugged rows and all the stuff. Like that's gets to be a bit of a more high stress job versus this. You just kind of go out and you have fun running equipment. We're definitely pushing the edge though of being able to go and do this or not, because I would say a quarter of the ground is still frozen and 75% of the ground is unthawed. We're definitely a ways away from seeding though, that's for sure. I would really appreciate if you guys could give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. Let's see if we can get a words are hard. Let's see if we can get a sub boost and a like boost on this video. It actually does mean a lot. That's why I always ask in the end of the video if you guys are still watching to comment so-and-so word. It It helps boost the video, push the video out to new people, which helps me. I'm super grateful for all of you that are commenting all the random things like potato and pickle and what your favorite food is. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. For today's end of video comment, I want you guys to do cow, I think. Thanks for watching, guys. Here's one last clip of the tractor tilling driving by me.